How to read. I know this seems like an oversimplistic YouTube video title, but that is for a reason. I think that there are so many people that grew up reading a lot that no longer read. I personally, growing up, did not really like reading, probably because I couldn't delay gratification and was genuinely an iPad kid. But now I read every night. Over the last 5 years, I've finished probably over 200 books. I started getting into reading in quarantine when I discovered personal development. So my passion for reading honestly did not start in fiction or fantasy. It started in self-help books. And now it's extended to so many different things because I see fiction and the way we reflect and relate to fiction as a key part of developing emotional intelligence, which I think is central to personal development. So I'll use this book as an example. When I was solo traveling in Portugal, I got this book. It was originally written by a Portuguese author, but this is the American translation. My biggest tip for anyone who wants to start reading is pick something up that you generally have interest in. Pick something up that you would watch in a movie, if it was adapted to a movie. Pick something up that's, let's say, nonfiction that you would read a Substack article about or summary about. Something you intrinsically want to read. Because if you're developing the habit of reading, it's most likely for yourself. It could be to upgrade your professional skills, right, for work, but ultimately it is a self-driven and motivated thing. So don't force yourself to read Moby Dick just for the sake of personal development. Read something that you have an intrinsic interest in. So this book is like a fiction one about this 42-year-old woman, and I feel like there's some unique perspective that I could learn from it. So that's what really captivated me to read this book. I also read books about faith, romantic fiction books, business books, personal development books, etc. So the way to build a reading habit is to have not even a set time that you read, but a habit stack for reading. For me, one of my greatest use cases for reading is not even just being entertained or learning something new. It is to fall asleep. A lot of the times reading does make my eyes heavy, and before going to sleep, sometimes I do want to be stimulated by something, but if I watch something on my phone, that's blue light. It's not necessarily conducive to me falling asleep, so books have been the solution for me. So usually at night I will journal, read some of the Bible, and then read until my eyes get heavy. So having a habit stack works well. I wouldn't even say exact time, right? Because every night is a little bit different. If I hang out with my friends in college and we stay up till late, unless I'm so tired I will literally pass out, I typically still read a book. So it could be at 9 p.m. It could be at 1 a.m. So finding that time for you, maybe, I feel like for most people, reading in the morning is just not the best solution because it's hard to wake up. We get caught up with work and other things, but I would really recommend nighttime. Or maybe it's like before having dinner or during dinner, you go read. Just having a set rhythm for it where it's like, I don't do this activity until I blank. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. It's a habit that you're used to. I would also recommend, if this works for you, to read multiple books because for me, reading is like being subscribed to YouTubers. You're subscribed to authors. I'm not going to want to watch maybe one YouTuber every single day. They have great content, but maybe I don't want to learn about YouTube strategy. Maybe I don't want to watch someone make matcha, so I watch another creator. That's how I view reading multiple books. I try to read multiple books in different categories because if I'm reading like 4 romance books, I'm kind of just getting confused and then it feels like productive procrastination. Like I just don't want to finish either book, but I'll be reading one memoir, one business nonfiction, one faith nonfiction, one high school rom-com. And this helps me just be able to have a varied palette, taste, also to entertain different sides of myself. It's really difficult when I'm trying to travel light to bring one book to travel with me because I love having an array of options. So I would definitely recommend, if you're someone who, your attention is always shifting, to read multiple books at the same time because you never want to skip the habit of reading because you're kind of getting tired of your book. And I think it's totally okay to not finish books. If your goal of reading is for entertainment or to learn something new, if you started reading a nonfiction business book and you feel like you've got all the value that you wanted to get out of it, it's totally okay to not finish it. And I think you're still going to reap a lot of the rewards from that. I really recommend going to your local library. That can also be really good motivation if you are aiming to read books faster, to complete them more, because you kind of have a due date for you need to return your book. And I think libraries are kind of a lost art nowadays. If you have a public library that's near you, I definitely recommend. Personally, for me, I just love buying books because I like to keep them after. Maybe it's kind of performative. Maybe it's like I like physically seeing how many books I've read. But I just really like the feel of paper books and know what works best for you. I prefer reading paper books over Kindle just because I love like physically seeing the progress that I'm at, and also when I have a physical book and it's on my desk, it literally screams at me to read it. I remember that it exists. But if my whole bookshelf was just on Kindle, and my Kindle is so flat, it's black, I might just lose track of it. I might forget that my Kindle exists. But when I have books that take up physical space, I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta finish this book or donate it, store it away somewhere. Those are my current thoughts on reading. I also think if you want to retain what you're reading, rating a book is helpful, writing down key ideas you got from it, but that's a whole separate discussion. So this was my how to read tutorial.